Change TV here with Michael J. Murphy. We want to talk to you about his film, What in the World Are They Spraying? You have been hearing me talk about this film for a really long time. Hopefully you caught the last interview we did with him, but if you didn't, we're going to start over right here. And Michael, geo-engineering, let's talk about that. What is it for the people here that might have not seen your video or seen our show covering your video or seen any of the multiple interviews that you've done worldwide?
Right.
Let the folks here in Hawaii know about geo-engineering.
You want me to speak into the camera or right towards you?
In the camera.
Yeah. Well, geo-engineering, also called chemtrails, is defined as the artificial modification of the Earth's climate systems. So there is a group of scientists, corporations, governments involved in literally changing the composition of our natural systems. Why would they want to do this? Well, it gives a tremendous amount of power and control for these corporations to leverage over other nations and other people, and even over our food supplies. So there are many different reasons for geoengineering programs. Hopefully we can get into that, but again, it's the artificial modification of the Earth's climate systems.
Now, one of the theories I've heard from scientists is that they're using aluminum particles, barium particles, strontium particles, and these particles that are being sprayed through airplanes are acting as mirrors, reflecting the light away from Earth, helping to slow down or stop global warming. People are kind of divided on even if global warming is actual scientific science. For the people that feel that the Earth's climate is changing, we got to really understand that regardless if there is climate change or not, it's being used by the elite in order to further tax, regulate, and control societies. So even if there is this thing called global warming, I'm not going to stand on either side of the issue. I'm just going to say that it is being used as a tool to tax, regulate, and control societies. As far as the aluminum particles being detracted from acting as mirrors, reflecting light away from Earth, is there any other benefits that the geoengineers are saying that it could cause besides slowing down global warming?
Well, no, there are very few benefits, and again, geoengineers are selling this to the public, stating that these programs are to reflect the sun from this supposed threat of global warming. However, numerous studies, even NASA has done studies that actually show putting an aerosol into the sky will not only fail to cool the planet, but also increase the temperature on the Earth, because aerosols will act as a blanket. Interestingly enough, past 7 to 8 years, we have seen an increase in our nighttime highs as we've seen these aerosols being dispersed around the world.
Now, we got into the question of meteorologists not pointing these things out, and you gave me some fascinating information about what they're teaching meteorologists, and also what they're teaching incorporating into the grade schools. Can you let our audience know about this?
Sure, yeah, I think it's real important, and there was some information put out by National Geographic's to their children's market. You might Google National Geographic's children's different types of cloud formations, and what they showed were what clearly was aerosol trails, and they stated those were natural, normal contrails. And then after studying those of us who are aware of geoengineering programs or chemtrails, we know what chem clouds look like. After these aerosols are dispersed, they have a trail in the air, but they will over time fall down, spread out, and create what appears to be a cloud cover. So they were showing what those of us who are very aware were clouds from these programs as being natural clouds. So there's definitely misinformation. There's definitely an agenda to program people to believe that these unnatural things are natural. I also want to point out there's also an agenda. Some older films that have been remastered with aerosol trails in the back. I have some of that in my email. I can show you, and perhaps you can include that. But yeah, there are films. Again, we see chemtrails, aerosol trails in the back of many ads now. This is believed to be an agenda to literally get people conditioned to believe that these are natural, normal things occurring in our sky. Of course, they're not. but how can you do something that affects so many people in a negative way without programming them or getting them to believe that it's natural? So we believe that many of these, the trails that we see in the background is definitely an attempt to program the way that people think and to believe that what we're seeing is natural.
Now, the GMO seed was developed in Cornell University in 1999. Did you get a chance to speak with anybody involved in those in that program?
It was actually in 2009. In that
2009.
Yeah, sorry. 2009. So it is as of very recent. It was developed at Cornell University, and the patent is owned by the USDA and also the Brazilian government. We looked into that, but it's fairly hidden. There was some funding from the McKnight Foundation, which I believe Bill Gates is indirectly involved with, and I believe there's a connection between Monsanto. However, we have not directly linked Monsanto yet. Time will tell. My guess is that Monsanto will start selling these aluminum resistant GMO seeds. So in the future, those of us who are aware of this issue, I hope can stand up and again address this in a way that's appropriate to getting these programs stopped.
Going back just a little bit, if they're actually teaching this in schools and they're giving that social brainwashing for these programs, and it seems that they have no intention of stopping it.
Well, again, this is big money. We're talking about multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar programs, and geoengineers, again, propose this on a worldwide scale, and they also are moving forward stating that if they are quote-unquote going to start these programs, of course we know that they have started, that they're pushing for some type of global governance, some type of global regulation. So once again, we see these globalists who truly have a one world government agenda stating that this is the only way to regulate these programs. But again, I want to remind your viewers and everybody who's listening, we do not want geoengineering programs, nor do we want global governance. We want sovereignty, we want individualism, and we want fresh and clean air to breathe.
Now, you mentioned the one world government agenda. How would you articulate that to somebody that maybe hasn't ever heard of a one world government agenda?
Right. Well, there's definitely a political agenda to create a one world government. Certain individuals are orchestrating this. Some of the more popular names are the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and many of the other people who consider themselves the elite. So what they're going for essentially is to consolidate power into a select few and literally create this one world government. It gives corporations and the people involved tremendous power, but unfortunately it gives citizens and people of the world very few rights and very few individualism. So what New World Order agenda essentially does is they do what's called the Hegelian dialect. They create problem reaction solutions. So one way that geoengineering programs could be used to bring in this New World Order, we believe that the aerosol spraying is in part weather control. So a lot of people ask me, they say, Mike, why would somebody want to control the weather? Well, it's very simple. As geoengineer David Keith stated, he said geoengineering gives man godlike power, and owning the weather gives tremendous, whoever holds that power, tremendous leverage over other countries. So let's say we have a country in Africa or Asia who doesn't want to give up their sovereignty, who doesn't want to give up their rights and doesn't want to give up their resources to these global elite. Well, if they own the weather, they can literally send droughts and bring that country to its knees. Henry Kissinger said, he said, if you want to control a nation, he said, control the oil. If you want to control the people, he said, control the food. So geoengineering is not only food control through the GMO seeds, but it's also weather control. And again, it gives man godlike power. Unfortunately, these people are not loving human beings. They're very evil people who are doing some terrible things to not only our environment, but our brothers and sisters here on Earth.
Now, you're in a very privileged position to be one of the main messengers of this message of geoengineering. Your film came out in October. It's been seen by millions all over the world. What kind of maybe propaganda or slander have you seen directed towards you? And also, have you seen maybe an upscale in the propaganda of chemtrailing since your film has come out?
Well, we absolutely had